This is SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.
Welcome back to Knowledge, Nonsense, and Reasoning on Sirius Slam Radio.
Guys, you guys are in for a very special treat today. We have Diego from DEE-I-VO-REEZ in the studio via Zoom.
Oh my God.
It was such a great interview. Raul, did you have a good time on this interview?
I had a ball, and I'm excited to share this with the world.
Yeah, so we're going to keep this pretty quick. The interview went on for almost 50 minutes, man. We could have kept on talking for 2 hours, but granted, we only have an hour to talk. So I guess this is just us saying we cannot wait to expose this guy to the world.
We were definitely all fun guys, and we can't wait to show you what we talked about. It's going to be great, guys.
Cut to commercial.
This is SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. This cat makes me make art. He's always motivating me to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. He's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Keyboard Cat, YouTube star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Start yours today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Wash your hands, avoid sick people, and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We'll be back with Knowledge, Nonsense, and Reasoning on SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.
Good morning, amigo.
But you see, it's a bad idea to do that.
I didn't cry during the talk.
Good thing. You're going to be home today, so nobody can see you cry.
But I was fine. I didn't even cry. I was like, good.
No, but the silence afterwards is enough. And then you give me that puppy look.
Back.
You get that puppy look you have.
I'm just holding it back a little.
Good thing nobody can see you crying tonight.
I'm fine.
Stay home, privacy of your own home, watch it on Zoom.
You can be a Richard sometime.
Good morning, amigo. Weekdays, 7 to 11, only on SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.
We are strong and we'll get through this together, but these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Wash your hands, avoid sick people, and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And now we're back with Knowledge, Nonsense, and Reasoning on SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.
3, 2, 1, action.
It wouldn't do justice to sit here and try to compare this unique human being, if that, to any other artist out there. Being in the local music scene for the last 6 years and coming across this artist was nothing short of spectacular.
I think if human is the proper term. DEE-I-VO-REEZ has such a unique sound that it feels like you're on an excursion out of this world. Luckily for us, we have the voice behind the music in the studio to curate this journey through their music and beyond. We present the ever so mystical Diego of DEE-I-VO-REEZ.
Hello! Bonjour tout le monde. How's everybody doing?
Welcome, brother.
Bonjour.
We're doing pretty good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good. It's nice and hot.
You're looking good, bro.
Well, welcome, bro. Yeah,
Thanks.
always, man. This is Knowledge, Nonsense, and Reasoning. This is a podcast, and today we're interviewing
DEE-I-VO-REEZ,
aka Diego. So, tell us something about yourself, man. What are you outside of the world of music?
So, outside of music, I'm just a little Colombian dude who was just living in Miami for the majority of his life and moved to New York to seek a professional career and make something, add value to this world. And given everything that I find passion in, I just like to just treat myself as if I have these several passions flowing out of me, and I just want to send it to every little part of this world that I can. So outside of music, I just want to give everybody my love and make everybody want to receive it. And well, not make them, but hopefully they receive it.
Soak in it for sure.
Love it, cherish it, embrace it, right? No, man, that's awesome. And I think that's a great purpose to have. Now, how does all of that influence your music and your sound?
Well, I find the sound very personal, and I don't think you can separate the two from myself. I think everything that I try to work with, I hold true to myself. I never do something that's out of character. I'll never write something that isn't who I am or what I'm feeling about, or I won't try to be something that I'm not. I just want to make it point and clear that DEE-I-VO-REEZ is who I am, is who I was born to be, at least for now. And that can always change, but my heart and my passion lies in who I am. And I just want to make sure that I continue to live by that example and chase that feeling.
What an example that is, man.
I think that's not an example. I think that should be a standard. Because
absolutely.
Because I think it's beautiful that you feel that way, that your music comes from a place of passion. It's not just, I'm going to make music just to make music. No, it comes from you and how you feel about things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think at this day and age, it's rare to have a message that's so pure and not, with other reasons or purposes behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And as far as your music goes and your rebirth, I would say, as DEE-I-VO-REEZ, that all began in New York, correct?
Yeah, well, it began here. It started here when I was living in Coral Gables and in Brickell. I was living by myself, and I was just moving out of just a really tough point in my life where I was not only breaking free from personal relationships, and also friendship relationships and other kinds of relationships that I had. I wanted more. I wanted to be more unique in who I was. I wanted to stand on my own feet and know who I was and what I did. I wanted to be alone, and in that aloneness, I tried to find myself again, and that's when I reinvented this project to just kind of become a new person, to mold myself into a better version, if not the best version that I can be. And that started down here. So.
And how did that grow once you got to New York? Like, what effect did New York have on that?
Compared to your time in Miami, like, how did Miami help that transition to your sound in New York?
Well, living alone really taught me how to, take care of myself. And when I moved up to New York, I was just, not only was I alone and living by myself, but I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know who I could speak to in confidence, who I can trust in. All of my friends were down here. So I just really had to just take the inspiration that was New York City, the big lights and the big stages and the big sounds, and I wanted to take that in. It was more of a research period for me. I kind of just took a step back and watched somebody else do their magic so I can be like, okay, well, this is actually the kind of magic that I want to do, but base it off myself, base it off how I do it. And it's just been learning through that and being inspired by the way things are run in New York and how things go. And just, again, the big lights, the big city. I've always been inspired by that.
No, that's awesome. And then how was a music scene in Miami for you? Because New York sounds great, but how was it in Miami for you to appreciate the music scene in New York so much?
Well, I mean, there's something I feel like the Miami music scene has, and it has its pros and cons, as any music scene would normally do. But something that I've always kind of, I guess, disliked about the Miami scene was that it became so cliquey, that there was just certain cliques of artists and so many good and talented artists, but they would just kind of stay within their own circle. They wouldn't try to mesh with other circles, and any attempt at trying to do so was just, it felt contrived and it didn't seem right. So anytime I wanted to divulge into several other music scenes in Miami and just be like, hey, well, look, this is who I am. Let me know. Can I be in your circle? And everyone's just kind of like, no, I don't know you. Nah, I'm just going to be with my friends. And in New York, it's just like, oh, wow. Whoa, wait a minute. You seem cool. You seem nice. Wait, why don't you come sit down with us and have a beer or something? And that was really, it felt more inclusive. I mean, you still get a lot of that anywhere you go, but I just felt more welcomed by I was given the benefit of the doubt as soon as I got there, and I think that's really nice. And I just wanted to always make myself, be comfortable where I was. So I was happy
For those people that did not offer my friend Diego a beer when he was down here in Miami as an artist, I don't want you listening to the show. All right, just turn it off now and go out there. Well, you can go out there, but when things open up, go offer someone a beer. For the love of God, man, be welcoming. That's the key word that you said, welcoming. As someone that was also in the Miami musical scene, and granted that my sound was, I was a DJ, so I would have to play to the crowd. So I had people welcoming me because I could play a variety of styles of music, opposed to someone like yourself that's actually in a band that has a certain sound. I agree with you completely, and we knew all the bands that were out there, and I agree with you completely, man. There's a lot of cliques here in Miami, and it's great that you were able to go over there to New York and really thrive and have people be like, hey, I remember you from that show.
Exactly.
What's your deal? You want to have a beer? Let's talk. You obviously you like the music because you came back, so that's
it was
awesome.
actually me buying it. It was actually me buying them drinks. It was actually
it's an investment.
Just be like, hey, let me just get the first round and then we'll talk. And then I remember first meeting my roommate, who is one of the most Sagittarius, nicest people you've ever met. And he's just kind of crazy. He's like kind of loco. But first thing the way I introduced myself was like, hey, I'm Diego. I'm from Miami. He's like, Miami, here, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture, Miami. And I was like, whoa. And I didn't even move in with him until a year later. But from that point on, he was my friend, So it was just like, wow. It was just really cool.
Sorry.
No, that's it.
It's awesome that you found a community that's so welcoming to you, and you decided to be welcoming back by buying that first round, putting yourself out there. That's awesome. And I think on the other end, that's something that a lot of people are intimidated to do because of what you said. There's so many cliques. There's so many... It seems like you have to like penetrate a force field almost. Like I was never part of the music scene, but I liked being around that scene, and I saw that like you see people trying to talk to a group, and then you see them just get pushed right out, just shunned right out.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to be in an art environment, and that type of environment specifically, shouldn't you be more welcoming? Isn't that the whole point of it?
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole thing is that I feel like people are intimidated by strangers. And strangers that look good and that look like confident, they're even more intimidated by, because they want to know what this person's about, and all of a sudden they feel insecure about themselves because they don't have as much confidence, but they might have all the friends. So like seeing a stranger with all that confidence can be kind of intimidating. So it wasn't easy, it wasn't easy. I wasn't trying to like penetrate into other circles. I was just trying to create my own all-inclusive circle. I don't try to be your friend. I am your friend. And if you want to be more in part of it, then you can come closer. But I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to put my nose in anybody else's business because,
to continue to what you're saying, I mean, I could give you from like I said, from what I've experienced, an example that I could give you is that there are some artists that also don't really they'll tell everybody to come onto their show, hey, I'm performing, but they're not talking about all the other bands or all the other artists that are performing for that show. So then those same artists that aren't talking about the other people around there, granted that they're trying to promote themselves, and I get it, but at the same time, those artists will do their show and leave for whatever reason. Maybe they have another show, but for the most part, they just don't want to be there. And guess what? The crowd that gets generated for that one band is gone, Mm-hmm. And I've seen it. Me and Raul went to Churchill's for St. Patrick's Day, and we just pulled up. We didn't know anybody. We just wanted to go see what it was, open mic. So, mm-hmm. And we saw that there was like this one guy that was really good, had 5 people, right? And then that guy stuck around and saw the next guy play, right? And then those 5 people still stayed. And then it just kept on growing and growing and growing. But once again, the artists stayed to support other local artists. And in Miami, specifically in Miami, I feel like us as local artists have to continue supporting each other. Continue saying, hey, go listen to this guy's podcast, or hey, go watch this person. Even when that show's done, let's see what's up with this person. Let's see what's up with that band. I think that that's extremely important, and let alone the well-being of the local music scene. Like, we need that to continue striving. And Miami has some people that rock, bro. We have some gifted musicians, gifted singers, gifted videographers, bro. This is the place to do that. We just need to come together a little bit. That's just
all we need to do is listen, man. All we need to do is actually stand there. Don't think about who you're trying to impress. Don't think about, oh, well, my friends just finished playing, so maybe I should get another drink, or maybe I should just go out in the courtyard. Or no, like, listen.
Yeah.
Listen. It's so important to just sit there and receive what this other person's music or their energy is being channeled through. And I think a lot of New York is that, listening, and just, I've seen a lot of bands throughout my life, and I've been a part of audiences as well. And I even admit to it, like, I sometimes will walk out and leave, like, in the middle of a set, just because whatever the circumstance, and I hold myself, I take responsibility for that. But at the same time, like, if I was the artist on stage and I would see that, I wouldn't want the same thing to happen. So I just try to do my best to listen. And it's so easy because you don't have to do anything. You just have to stand there.
Just stand there and enjoy what it is, man, and appreciate it for what it is. Yeah, that's actually how Jonathan showed me your music. I didn't know about your music, then he showed me, and bro, I really enjoy it, and I'm very happy that he did. No, absolutely, man. I think that you have a very cool sound. I like your look as well. And with that said, how did your look come to be? Like how did you decide this is how I want to represent myself?
So it was actually a pretty funny story. So the last day of the end of Astro Maps, which was the band that I was in for a really long time in the Miami scene. So we had our album release show. And on the last day of that release show, well, the day of the release show, we were just packing things up. We did it at the studio where I actually recorded that album, Animal Music. And it was really nice to do that show there because we kept it to like a 50-person maximum. So it was all our friends. We invited all our friends. We did one last show for them. And everybody, rode out, and they had a great time. And then one of my friends and the producer of the record, he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Diego, somebody left a pair of these glasses. Not these specifically, but I call them the OGs, and they're purple. And somebody left a pair of the OG heart glasses in the stage. Do you know who they might belong to?" I was like, "No, I don't." And I posted something on my story. It's like, "Hey, did anybody leave some glasses?" And nobody really responded to me. And I was like, "Well, I'm going to wear them." I started wearing them, and then people were like, "Hey, nice glasses. Hey, cool glasses." So I was like, all right, well, here's something I could build off of. And I don't know when, but it just came so natural to me to just start wearing them for performances and just not taking them off. And then it became like a part of me. It really did. It just kind of just strung together. Something clicked, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wear these glasses for the whole DEE-I-VO-REEZ. For as long as I'm in it, I'm going to make sure it's about these glasses. I was really inspired by Elton John and all of his fashion, all the way that he looks and stuff. So I was like, I want to do something similar to that, no doubt. And I don't know, I thought something clicked. And from that point on, I just started taking fashion and my apparel and my presentation really seriously.
And we could tell, man, you definitely stand out in the room for sure. And for those watching, you know that we definitely appreciate a nice pair of glasses over here at KNR.
Yeah, absolutely. We got glasses squad over
days.
No, I actually relate to what you say. Obviously, I don't go and sing and perform the way you do, but yeah, like these glasses, I've had them for about a year now. And I go through phases of glasses. Like I wear the same pair for like 6 months to a year. And then eventually I lose them, they break. I'm the worst. And then, but yeah, it almost feels like it's a part of me too. So I relate to what you're saying with that. And I think it's great that you know that. So when you're on stage, how do you view yourself? Like, what do you imagine people are looking at when you're on stage?
I'm sure that I was watching myself, and like I do, because I my friends take videos of my performances, and I just look at myself and play. I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on here. Like, there's this killer outfit right in front of me. There's this really strong and like very good band behind it, and then there's just so much energy in between. There's crazy singing, and it just kind of feels like controlled chaos, lightning in a bottle. And I'm like, I want to capture more of that essence. I want to go deep into the atoms of that energy and then try to break it apart, separate it even little by little, and just try to mold something with it and try to use it to really like capture all that glory and glamour.
Yeah, and fashion's such a, like, you know, in general, just being fat, like not fashionable, but just being like
stylish,
obscure, stylish, you know, like just, I love Elton John. I mean, I love wearing stuff that where when I walk into a room, whether it's good or bad, they just look and they're like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love it when people are, I love it when, and he says it to me all the time. He's like, I wouldn't wear that, but I could see you wearing that. I love that. I love all that obscure.
We talk about that all the time. Like our different fashion senses. Like Jonathan, I think, has a very modern, contemporary fashion sense. Like he looks like he just came out of GQ magazine from today.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I feel.
I see that.
That's where I feel mine is more classic with touches of contemporary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yours is a little bit more like, as long as I got my suit and tie.
yeah. Oh, hey, man. Hey, I'll bust a move right here. I'll bust a move if you start singing, man, for sure.
But it is really, and something I just want to add to that is that that was the first, because these glasses, just like your glasses and your shirt, could belong to anybody. They could go literally to anyone, but there's something about wearing something and making it yours. And that is that is something you have to build on. Make something yours. Go to Goodwill tomorrow and find a good piece, and then come back with it. Make it yours.
That's the best. It's the best.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, man. It's not about the item. It's about you and taking ownership of the item. It's not just a shirt at this point. It's my shirt, because I decided that this is what I'm going to wear, and it's going to be a representative of me.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, bro. Half my closet is Goodwill clothing. And if there's any sponsors out there listening, come on, give us
anybody.
I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. Obviously, I'll wear whatever. But
hey, I'll wear a banana hammock, bro.
But going back to Goodwill, I have a similar thought process when it comes to me buying these crazy Hawaiian shirts at Goodwill. I would think to myself, I'm like, man, I wonder if the person that gave it away because they didn't like how it looked on them. And then I go and I throw it on and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah,
look at me. Look at me. There's
I have been on both ends of that. I have taken clothes because honestly, it fits me, but it doesn't fit me.
Wow.
But it's not me. And then from there, and then I go drop that off, and then I go to the Goodwill store, and then I find something that does fit me. And it feels right. And I think that's something about style and fashion and I guess clothing in general that a lot of people don't appreciate. I think that even if the item isn't for you, doesn't mean that it's not for anybody else. It's just not your item. But if it's yours,
you gotta make it yours.
But you gotta make it yours and take ownership of that, I think. But sorry, just to piggyback off what you're saying about Elton John. Yeah, man, he definitely has a wild sense of style. I definitely see the influences. What's another influence for that? Well, your fashion and your music, I guess.
I just like to take a little bit of parts from, the craziness. Sometimes I'll watch a show, like a live show, and I'll see some crazy stage prop, like some floral backgrounds. And I'll be like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use those floral backgrounds. Sometimes there's going to be an artist on stage and he'll also be playing keyboard, but his keyboard is like, stand is like a bunch of Greek columns. I'll be like, hey, that's cool. I want to do something like that. I want to do something. So I just take from what I see. And there's no greater example than, the classic greats like, Freddie Mercury as well. He's got an excellent sense of style and just presence that he doesn't have to be, he could be wearing a tank top, but it's part of the look. It's part of the fit. And I dig deep into looking into what I can use that is just normal, but it has that the pizzazz. It has that brightness to it. So it's just a matter of looking. It's not one necessary thing, but I'm just inspired from what I see. You know what I mean?
So you're one to grab pieces of of like almost like tidbits of certain people or certain
Mm-hmm.
styles, and then you incorporate it and you mesh it into something that's not, that you're not mimicking, that you're making your own, but through influencing that. And with that being said, since you are a fan of that, now how does that relate towards music, specifically on behalf of your past projects with, like you said earlier, Astro Maps, and then if I'm not mistaken, Bed Scene? What did you grab? What tidbits did you grab from that to incorporate into DEE-I-VO-REEZ?
Well, I'll start with Astro Maps first. Astro Maps taught me everything I know. It was in a band. It was my very first band I was actually a part of, and we've gone through several different stylistical changes and musical changes. I really learned, and you know, it's funny. I was hanging out with him yesterday too. Well, like socially distanced Zoom chat sort of stuff.
We're all safe over here, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Wear your mask.
Go on.
But you know, they were showing me some tunes. Just going back to yesterday on the chat, they were showing me some tunes because a few of them live together now, and they kind of like picked up and they were just playing the guitar, and then my friend was doing the drums behind it, and I was like, man, they still got it. They still have that songwriting element that was part of the original Astro Maps that I was a part of, and it taught me how to play the keyboard proficiently because I already knew how to play the piano classical style and, you know, some elements of jazz, but not too much at that time. But like I kind of relearned how to play the keyboard and a synthesizer in a creative way, and they taught me how to do that. Not to mention that later on, through like the changes of the styles of the band, I learned how to play bass too. So I really capitalized on my talent and my potential in that band. And you know, we're all still good friends, so we all like talk about the good old days and how things were at this show, and we still have our laughs. But in the end, I really admire the songwriting that came from that band, and working with 3 other like-minded individuals that were a very big part of songwriting, that maybe someone in that band wasn't that good of a songwriter, but they destroyed that guitar. They could shred Eruption, or like, you know what I mean? But they could do their own version of a solo. And so it was really cool to work with 3 other songwriters. And then later on, when I was asked to play keyboard for Bed Scene, which is a project that is still going on right now, and I encourage you to listen to that because it's like this bedroom indie pop that is just really, really, it hits that sweet spot. It's like a Moonlight Sonata of just like really, really good bedroom pop. And Nick, he's a good friend of mine. He asked me to play keyboards because he saw me play in Astro Maps. He's like, wow, you've got talent. Like, why don't you play keyboard for me? And I helped him. He kind of helped me look into what sounds specifically from that keyboard he wanted. Hey, Diego, sometimes I want this like electric Rhodes sound piano. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Oh, Diego, I want like a flute sound here on the synthesizer. Yeah, for sure. So I was able to kind of like go deep into the keyboard because of Bed Scene and look into different sounds that I liked. I was like, wow, this may not work for this Bed Scene song, but this sounds really cool. It sounds like a theremin. And, you know, thanks to Nick, he would pretty much allow me, since I wasn't singing or anything, he was the only one doing the project. I was just kind of focusing on my own technical skills. And because of that, I feel like my technical skills have improved because of Bed Scene. And here I am now, and I'm just kind of taking from what I've learned from those 2 experiences, and it's really gotten to help. It's really helped me.
Well, I think it's great that you've been able to get things from those experiences, and also that you're still friends. We're very big fans of friendship over here. So it's great that it didn't have to be a bitter end to that, and then potentially you guys could jam out together, could work together again, and also that you've been part of such different projects that I'm sure don't all sound the same either. So you've been able to explore different genres, different sounds. With that being said, what are some genres that you do want to look into that you haven't been able to touch base on?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've got so it's my mother's birthday tomorrow, and we have like a Colombian like mariachi coming in, and he's gonna be coming in in 30 minutes or something, and he's gonna be playing some like old school classic Colombian like really like songwriter, really quick guitar sort of accordion music. And I've always been interested in that. I've always been interested in taking elements, and I've never done this before. I've taken elements from Franco rock, like French theater and French drama, and I kind of did that in the beginning. I really liked it, but I've kind of been working with more of like tropical beats and tropical rhythms since I've been here in Miami, and I just kind of want to do a little bit more of that. I give it a little bit more Spanish Colombian flavor, and I think it might benefit me to try something to do an all Spanish song in the future.
For sure. We just did an artist. We just had an artist on that. Kevin Connors. Shout out to him from Miami.
Nice.
Check it out.
He transitioned from hip hop, and he came out with a 16-song album, and you could see that he finally found his voice because everything else was EPs and singles, and then he produced a 16-pulse masterpiece called Guilt Trip, and us as listeners, we were like, wow, this guy finally got his sound. So what does he do next? He goes Spanish.
Wow. Okay.
And now he's killing it in that. And even at that, in the interview, he's like, we talked about how you could go down the same path and like perfect that craft even more. Granted that you already perfected it, but you could continue with that same sound, or you could grow as an artist and try a different route. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's extremely important in anybody's growth in artistry, in any sense of artistry that they do, whether it's music, visual art, contemporary art, dancing, all that. But
nice.
You had mentioned in the men's Frank, a French drama drummer. You had said now
French theater, French rock, cabaret sounding.
So what influence does France as a country? Because I've heard you in songs mention, bonjour, your name
seems French as well. We could be wrong.
and you're speaking of you're Colombian, so I want to know where that came to play.
Well, it kind of came in the whole reinventing of myself 2 years ago. I kind of taught myself French again after I had taken a few classes in college, but I just retaught it to myself. And I was really just mesmerized by the drama of the language, by the way, like a sentence is structured so that the ends of the sentence, it's like so dramatic. And it's kind of hard sometimes to like explain it, because in Spanish it doesn't directly translate, but it's moving. It's like a move, like poetic movement, the way the French speak. And I wanted to take from that, without appropriating French culture, because I'm not French. But I really like to take the poetic, the phonetics of the language, the way the rhythm of the language moves, and I wanted to like curate music and songs so that so I'm not just limited to one language, so that the rhythm and the singing of my melodies can go into different waves, can not just go up and down, but they can go diagonal and sideways and curve, so it really taught me how to adapt and how to be fluid and volatile around like the music. Because in the end, I'm making my own genre. I'm not going to stick to one. I'm just making my own. So
I think that's incredible. And also to backtrack real quick, I don't think it's appropriation. I think it's cultural appreciation.
Absolutely. Art history has also taught me a lot of that too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. You found some things that you found about a culture that you appreciate, and you're using it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think it's great that you were able to find those influences throughout the world. Come on, there's people who travel all over the world to try to learn different things from different places. Like if you're trying to learn how to become the best sushi chef in the world, you're not going to go to Wyoming, are you? No, you're not. And so, yeah, I think it's great. And like I said before, we've really been enjoying your music here. Jonathan actually has been telling me about his favorite song, Cheers.
Nice. Cheers.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we think it's great, and we love what you do with Cheers. And the song prior to that, Jonathan,
it's Odd Suspicions. So I guess So I mean, and for those that don't know, the songs are in order. Like Cheers, it's Cheers the last song, correct? And then before that is Odd Suspicions. And if you hear it not on shuffle, it fades into the other one perfectly. Perfect. So, like, did you did that on purpose? I assume. That was not an accident. If that was an accident, then you're God sent for sure.
It was not an accident. It was the whole song is called Odd Suspicions when I wrote it, and I noticed that when we had tracked it, I kind of told my producer Raul, I told him, I was like, I kind of want to make this final track, Cheers. I wanted to make it as its own separate track, because I want people to listen. If I want anybody to go on shuffle, and then wherever playlist it might be on, and then they could just be like, listen to something they like, and then all of a sudden it cuts and it goes cheers, and then it just goes into that beat. So I did that just so people could enjoy that part of the song, even though it's an extension of Odd Suspicions. It's the resolve of the song, because Odd Suspicions is such a heavily, it's based on diminished chord. It's like heavily diminished influence, and there's a part in the song that I call has the waterfall effect, where it's like, and I could just picture just like rocks falling on the waterfall, and strings in the background, and it's just all this chaos, and then after it just compresses into this one huge rock, it just resolves into like cheers, and it's just pure happiness, joy, and I really like that track. I love playing it live, and it gets a lot of good reception, so I appreciate it.
I bet, man. It's a great song. It's a great transition. I really like Take on My Ego. I really like that.
Oh,
one.
Nice.
I like it a lot, and I love what you do with the sound versus the lyrics, because it sounds carnival like almost to me.
Nice.
I was talking about it with Jonathan earlier, that it sounds like you're just going through this lovely carnival, and so many things are going around you, and then you realize that. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's about you realizing that the person you're with isn't the person you're supposed to be with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a joyous atmosphere that it's almost like you're appreciating that circumstance that you arrived to, that conclusion, that, hey,
exactly.
It was a nice little journey, but it's not for us.
Exactly. You're just kind of embracing the journey. You're embracing the fact that it may have happened, and it might have not been the best situation for you to have been in, but to look at everything that you've gone through, look at all these ups and all these downs, and just try to take all the positive elements from there and make you forget, in a sense. And then right after that, it goes into There's a Reason, which is a more of a reflective, be like, okay, let's look into why this didn't work, so the album has like a very short story. I would rather say it's like a few songs short of a breakup album, but it's they all address that, in a sense, that reinvention movement after a breakup.
Well, I don't know about breakup, because the album brought us together.
Nice.
But I'm quick with it sometimes. But talking about There Is a Reason, we know that the music video is out. It's on YouTube. It's marinating. It's there.
Nice.
So what went into that?
Actually, it was another impulse thing. I was working with a videographer. We were just having lunch one day. We were just talking. He was talking about some of his other projects that he was doing, and he's like, Diego, I never made a video for you. And I was like, oh, well, would you like to? He's like, yeah. And purest soul on this planet did not charge me a dime for it. He just told me, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I'd like to do it for There's a Reason, and I kind of want to make it this introspective kind of view around New York and my rooftop, and I just want to explain in a very narrative way the song, what it means, and There's a Reason. I ended up really liking how things went, because the locations that we picked were really fun to shoot in, especially in New York pre-pandemic.
Yeah, no, for real. No, there was a part of that music video, if I'm not mistaken, where you're standing in a fountain, and there's these a couple that are like sharing a passionate kiss. Is that am I correct with this music video? Am I thinking about the right music video?
Yeah, that's the same music video.
That is beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Was that staged, or was that just like?
No, that wasn't. We couldn't get there. We couldn't run quickly enough to see if they wanted to do it. But so we're hoping it's okay. But I imagine it's all right. I really hope so.
If you're hearing this, we hope it's all right too.
Yeah, and if not, we'll see what happens. But I think it was a beautiful moment to capture, and he told me about it as soon as we cut on that take, and he's like, "How do you feel about this?" I was like, "Wow, that's beautiful." And should we keep it? I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, we should." And so I take full responsibility, but it was a beautiful moment.
Hey, if anything, if worse comes to worse, bro, I'm sure that they would really enjoy it. I would really hope so. Granted, that was you could paint a painting with that. That was beautiful.
No,
it
it's
was
great.
so beautiful, man. And I kept on thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, dude, if this wasn't staged, then wow, the universe really and now that you're saying that you acted off impulse and everything happened and played out the way that it played out, dude, man, that's awesome. That's so great to hear. I'm a fan of acting upon impulse. You know, it's got me in trouble, but it's also done some really good things in my life. I'm sure it's done the same thing in yours. I can speak for Raul and say it's done the same thing in his, you know?
This wasn't impulse.
But it's important to take risks, right? Like us as artists, I think it's extremely important to take risks. Even if you fall on your face, you learn, you know?
Because then, it's just a mistake you make. It becomes a mistake. And what do you do with mistakes if not learn from them?
I read a lovely quote the other day that really stuck with me. Art is to disturb the comfortable, and it's also meant to comfort the disturbed. And that really stuck with me.
That's beautiful.
That really, really stuck with me because, you know, I think everybody on some level or another, however deep you want to take this, is looking for some meaning or a sign or something. So when things do fall in place like that, to make something so awesome like that music video, wow, like you can't argue that it wasn't meant to be. That was supposed to happen for you.
And to add on to that, I also read a very similar quote. It was along the lines of, "You're a wizard, Harry." And it really stuck by me. It really got me going. And with that being said, bro, we want to say thank you for coming onto the show, bro. You've definitely casted a spell on us because we are fangirling over here.
And with that said, it also could have been Neville Longbottom. Just saying.
It could have also been Mr. Longbottom.
It could have been Mr. Longbottom. But yeah, man. Talking about music videos, what are some other? Are there any other concepts or songs you want to make a music video for too that you've been thinking about?
So yes, there's this new song I'm going to be coming out with in August. I'm going to be putting out in the middle of August. And I'm currently working on getting clips for that music video for this song. And I have this really cool idea. I don't want to give much away, but I have this really cool idea of just getting people, since we're all quarantined in our home, and just kind of getting videos from them, just kind of doing like their own dance, you know, kind of dancing along to the song, but like really going at it, like all to the wall, you know, all there, just going crazy, you know, just give me some of those like SpongeBob weird dances. And yeah, exactly. Those I
picture Squidward. Squidward.
The squiggly wiggly, they call it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so I want to just bring a bunch of clips of those together, and it all would also be lyric video, and it just follow along with the lyrics, and then you could just see the happiness that comes from this song, and kind of just see how everybody else how that song makes everybody else feel. And I think it would be a good concept to include more moments like that.
Absolutely, especially now more than ever, man. We need that. I'm super open for this project. Please call me back.
Hey, we would love to.
I'll send you my headshots, our acting reels, and we'll go from there. My agent will talk to your agents, but count me down. I'm super down for that.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this on the show multiple times. We're dancers.
We are the
dancers. Talked about this on the show.
I want to get some clips of y'all dancing.
Oh, bro, come on.
Absolutely, man.
What are we doing?
And bro, not tough fangirl too hard, man. I love the way you talk.
It's like cursive coming out of your mouth.
It's like cursive, literally. Nah, man. No. You're not, bro. You're not saying anything negative, bro. You're not saying. You just want to create some cool stuff and spread it out.
Some happiness, man. Some love.
That's just trying to vibe,
man.
dude.
Good for you, bro. Good for you, man. Bro.
Yeah.
Us too, man. We just started, bro. We were like, hey, we got to do something. Let's make something happen. Here we are. So we could definitely relate to that, man. Now I feel like we've explored your music quite a bit. Now, is there anything that you've been thinking about doing beyond music? Any avenues you want to explore?
Well, I'd like to go into acting, definitely, down the line. Why not?
You heard it first here.
What are we doing?
Breaking news.
What are we doing? Okay, continue. I'm sorry, we're fangirling.
I'd like to go into acting. I feel like comedy would be fun to do in acting. I was watching a bunch of SNL today, and I just want to give a shout out to the Californians, the whole series. And I was like practicing how to say Stuart on the mirror today, like Stuart. What are you doing here?
Did you take rodeo or is it rodeo?
Just get out of here, Stuart. Get on the 10. Connect with Beverly's.
You go back on the freeway. We don't call it the expressway. You go back on the freeway down Rodeo to Los Angeles, and you let us know.
Still at.
Stuart.
No, man, I love the Californians, bro. No, I love Saturday Night. I love Saturday Night Live too. I always drag him to watch YouTube videos with me.
Hours worth of it, bro. Hours worth. He makes me watch hours worth of it. But the Californians were, bro. That's such a funny skit that they do, man. It's so funny. It's so funny.
No, the one I liked of the Californians was the one with Bieber.
Oh yeah, where he's a runaway.
Oh no, yeah. Oh well, the one with Mick Jagger was wild too, though.
Oh yeah.
He plays like everybody's dad.
Yeah, he plays he's like everyone's dad. He's like, I have to tell you something.
No,
you have a brother. Devin? How do you know where he lives? And it's like, I think it's perfect. So I totally love to go into that if I can, just because I like impressions, and I feel like I like just going into different accents.
You're good at it. You're good at it, bro. That was spot on. You killed me. I almost fell off this futon.
Yeah, man.
This futon. This Louis Vuitton $3,000 couch.
Sponsored.
Oh, yeah. Somebody pay me.
Tempur-Pedic though, specifically. What's up? What are we doing? I like soft beds.
My butt hurts.
My life hurts. But
nice.
What's it called?
So, look, so no one could predict the future. And if you can, please, we don't even want your sponsorship, just talk to us. But no one can predict the future. But do you ever think that with legacies being into play, what legacy would you like to leave as far as just you?
For myself, I'd like to be a good friend, a good person, and a good partner to my significant other. First and foremost, I would like to have a family and leave that legacy on to my offspring and my children, and have them taste life how I taste life, how I enjoy life. And I remember seeing a bumper sticker when I was bike riding yesterday. It was definitely the most oblivious thing that I don't know if they knew this, but the bumper sticker just said "Live Life" on it, and I was like, well, that doesn't say anything, but to me, like, I'm like, okay, well, live life. And the way I live life is just, through positivity and through giving it, never just being true to myself and being true to my word. Whatever I do in the future, if something comes from this music or something comes from, I just want it to be genuine, sincere, and that it came from the heart. And look, I'm not a perfect person. I don't get straight A's. You know what I mean? Like, in my life report card, I've had some C's, I've had some D's and D minuses. My conduct hasn't always been a 1, but the person who I was isn't the person who I am today. You got to kill the person you were to become the person you were born to be. And I think I've killed that person. I'm not saying I was some crazy ass like fire starter arsonist.
Man, it's a metaphor. Yeah. It's a metaphor, guys.
Rage, effing rage.
But man, hey, you are speaking actual factuals over here, my friend. No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I guess to piggyback off what we spoke earlier about clothing and owning it, it's the same thing as with that bumper sticker. Could have been a phrase to anybody. You decided to own it, and it's awesome that you're owning your life. You're owning your sound. You're owning the person who you were and the person who you want to be.
And you're doing such a great job at it, bro. I mean, if no one's told you this, bro, you are doing a great job. Please.
Thank you. It really does mean a lot, because these times are tough and we can't get away from them. And you find moments where you can not be motivated, discouraged, and even sometimes depressed. And it's a very serious thing that we all face within ourselves. But being able to just participate in something so beautiful and like a podcast, and being able to produce something, I just want to give back to the world so that they feel like there's a light. There's some light somewhere. You can find a light somewhere in the darkest places. And I'd love to be there. If not me, then hopefully somebody else who's better than I am that can do so. So it's I don't want to make it all about me. I just want to make it about we can survive, and humanity has options to make something beautiful. These aren't just
sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that was it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no. But you're, bro. We definitely could relate to that over here, man. Look, this podcast was something that we started because we honestly felt there weren't many other options else for us besides create something ourselves. And it's probably, I'm speaking for myself. I think I could speak for Jonathan. It's definitely one of the most authentic things I've ever done in my life. This feels honest. It feels real. You know, it feels like I'm not playing a character. I'm not doing something because I'm supposed to do it. And I feel like you relate that way with your music as well. And I just think, when do you feel that it's so nice to realize that about yourself? To realize that, wow, maybe I am doing something I'm supposed to be doing that I actually want to be doing?
Yeah, it's exactly how I feel, and I try to stay away from certain anxieties and certain back of the head thoughts that tell me that I'm not doing enough, because I don't ever like to be satisfied, but I do like to appreciate what I'm doing for myself. And I want to look back at the end of this and just be like, well, that was an incredible run. Wherever it ends, that was an incredible run. I'd like to see myself in the next few years, maybe taking some time in Paris or Italy and just kind of living a simple life, you know, maybe in the next 20 years, but like looking back and seeing like what I've accomplished as a person and who I've helped. And if I've made them happy, then I've done my job.
And all I have to say to that, man, is cheers to that statement, bro.
Cheers
to that,
man. And also, I think it's great that even if you don't do it just for you, that you're deciding to be the voice for others. I think that's a beautiful sentiment. So yeah, man, we've taken up a lot of your time. So just one last question for you. If you had any words of wisdom that you wish you would have heard when you were starting out to pursue your goals or your dreams, what would they be?
If I could go back and tell my 15-year-old self like what was going to be going on in the next 10 years, I would just tell him to just go with the flow and never doubt yourself. Don't feel like you've given up just because things didn't work out the first time. Listen to your friends and those who care about you, and respect your family, respect those that you love, because especially if somebody that's given so much to you, and you owe them your life to try to make them, you know, appreciate. And there are people out there that haven't had that experience, and there's people that need love in this world, and you could be somebody to give that to somebody else. And
that's beautiful,
man.
Yeah. That's beautiful, bro. I love you, mom. If you're listening, I love you.
Hey,
Dad,
right now I want to go give everybody a hug.
Yeah,
but
man. I wish we were in studio, man. I want to give you a hug, Diego. Yeah. Man, this is
virtual hugs for sure.
And we're in Miami, bro. This is the closest. I'll meet you in Paris, though, for sure, bro. Just we'll rendezvous. My people will get back to your people.
I will bring the berets and the baguettes. I promise.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Diego from
DEE-I-VO-REEZ.
Oh man, what an interview this was. We love you, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
man.
wait. What are we doing? We got a special preview that we're gonna be throwing on the show.
Oh man, we're gonna release it from
that.
What's the name of the song here, Diego? Give me a little.
Put us in, Diego.
A little quick synopsis.
So this song is called "Somewhere in the Distance," and it's about where would you rather be than not right now, given everything that's going on in this world, this situation in our country. Where would you rather be? Since we really can't go any places, but you'd like to go somewhere, you'd like to be somewhere, or you'd like that somewhere to be brought to you. So it's pretty much talks about you seeing somewhere in the distance, but you can't get to it.
Wow. Awesome, bro. We're looking forward to hearing it. It's a little preview. If you guys want to know more about the song and its release date, follow Diego at DEE-I-VO-REEZ on Instagram and all other social media platforms that he has.
Search him on Spotify. All of it. You will not regret it. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Diego.
Thank you so much,
good, my friends.
Bro. It has been a
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
We'll get you back on soon once more music comes out, or even if you just want to come on and do some sketch comedy with us. We're thinking about adding a segment onto the show.
Down.
Hey man,
improv.
Hey, we could all make some magic happen.
Some
together.
Improv, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's always fun. It's a good time.
Absolutely.
I wish we had more than an hour to do this, man. I feel like I could talk to you for like the next 3 hours.
Oh well, we're gonna have back soon enough, and also we're gonna be part of his music video apparently.
Oh man,
yes, you are. So get
Let's
ready.
do it. Let's
get
do
ready
it,
to
bro.
dance to this.
Super down. We're super down.
Awesome.
All right,
Well,
Diego. Thank you so much for joining.
It's been a pleasure,
Have a good
brother.
night,
Take care of
everyone.
yourself, okay?
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Somewhere in the distance, I see a position for coexistence. I'd be somewhere in an instant. I would be somewhere ever I thought about a system. That was where I'd be.
All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that interview. Big thanks to DEE-I-VO-REEZ for coming in the studio and dropping that knowledge on us. We hope you enjoyed it. And in the middle of that, I got rid of Jonathan. We had to let him go. Now we got Kevin Cerna over here.
You've probably never seen me before, but my name is Kevin Cerna. I'm one of Jonathan Carrera's old friends. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but it sounds very good. I hope to be on the show soon. And yeah, this is Kevin Cerna and Raul Nieves signing off for KNR Podcast.
He's going to be here more than soon. We got rid of Jonathan. He's my new partner. Bye, John.
This is SiriusXM 145 Slam Radio.